He thought he could break the Republicans, and the Republicans broke him. But he did think that we have good policy, they have bad policy. And there's something, I don't know if it's Trump derangement or they're just crazed. They're like crazed lunatics. But, we have just great policy.
Would have a near biblical shutdown, 40 days like wandering in the wilderness or the flood. Just amazing. The amount of comms dropping continue to astound many, and it helps guide us on the great things playing out each day. You're going to see so much to encourage you. A lot of folks posting some really good information. We're going to read through those and really just enjoy the remainder of this week and watching this continue to play out. And just want to let you know that we can take 20% off of your entire order at our shop at shop.amweknow.com, or go to amweknow.com, and you get your entire order 20% off for Veterans Day for the merch. For anything that you buy there, use code NOV11. That's November 11th, NOV11. And we just want to say thank you to all of our veterans, especially for their dedication and sacrifice on Veterans Day. It's not only is the Marine Corps birthday yesterday, but we also have the Veterans Day. And just thank you for all the folks who have done so much for our country. And head on over there, and you can find anything that you need. We've got a lot of new gear there. I've told you about it. We've got the new Aqu water bottles and tumblers, the Truth, Hope, and Faith and Freedom shirts. We've got the Follow Me and I'll Make You Fishers of Men shirts. We got new men's polos and the embroider collection just for you. So check that out. And so Dan Scavino made sure he said Semper Fi, happy 250th birthday to the United States Marine Corps. And of course, that came at 9:46. 9:46 is boom, boom, boom. And President Trump said happy 250th birthday to our incredible United States Marine Corps, from its founding at Tun Tavern in Philadelphia to the sands of Iwo Jima, Korea, Vietnam, and the Middle East. And every fight since then, the U.S. Marines have always led the way and crushed their enemies. Peace through overwhelming strength. Semper Fidelis. We love you all. Donald J. Trump. And November 10th, we were also shown 2018. We thank you for your service, Patriot. May God watch over you and your family for all eternity. Semper Fi. Now, there was a video that was released by the White House here. Absolutely amazing, folks. It's pretty cool because that was posted at 10:10. And if you look at 10:10 on the board, money, power, control, people are simply in the way. Slave sheep pawns. They planned their mass extinction events. They're designed to decrease, the threat levels of population. That's what they considered us. Threat, gun control, wars. They had election rigging and control. Your voice doesn't matter. That's what they said. Pharma. Water, air, chemicals pushed for home use and cleaning. Vaccines, the Fed, Rothschild, conspiracies. Choice is yours. Revelations, enough is enough. It's also a 25-second video follow-up to the last post. Return to comments. Pelosi and John M. Some of us refuse to say his last name for a reason. You know who that is. No name. This all has meaning. Everything stated. Big picture stuff. Few positions allow for this direct knowledge. Proof to begin. 11.3. We all sincerely appreciate the work you do. Keep up the good fight. Flow of information is vital. God bless. pretty powerful for all of us to see. Now, the U.S. Senate officially passed the CR to end the Democrat shutdown, sending the bill back to the House. The House is expected to vote on it Wednesday night and then send it to President Trump's desk. Then the government will finally open.
Well, the country loses a lot of money when they do this, and they're not getting much, but nobody gets a lot. But it's terrible. What they really wanted was $1.5 trillion for people that came in illegally, people that came in through and out of prisons. You know, we had like Venezuela, they dumped their prisons.
They said that was all exaggerated.
Oh, yeah, I know it's exaggerated. They wanted $1.5 trillion for healthcare from people that were, in some cases, 11,888 exactly murderers, many of whom murdered more than one person. So they came into our country, they poured into our country, and they want to take care. And we're trying to get them out because we don't want 11,000 murderers in our country. You don't want it. Nobody wants it. And we have drug dealers and we have everything else that they want to make sure they get good health care. That's not what our country's about. And it would have hurt other people's health care.
So, of course, that messaging had to continue. President Trump goes on those places to make sure that they hear the message over and over and over again. They planned on $1.2 trillion for all the illegals. Even Geraldo Rivera was saying stuff. I couldn't believe this. Check it out.
He's a ruthless pragmatist.
He's talking about Chuck Schumer,
who's done a horrible job, I think, in my opinion. And I think the Democrats come out of this as embarrassed losers, even though they had a triumph at the ballot box.
Interesting.
Even though they had a triumph at the ballot box, that's the only place. I mean, it's the places they actually win most of the time anyway. So it's like they make a big deal. But we know what's going on. We talked about it. So let's look at, the big debacle, right? It was, I believe it was Obamacare that was playing out. And, see, I don't know. We're going to kind of talk about that a little bit more.
Well, I watched Obama from when this thing came about. As you know, I opposed it very strongly. Unfortunately, we had a couple of negative votes.
He opposed the Obamacare, right? The Unaffordable Care Act.
Which should never have happened. But I said it's going to be a disaster, and I was exactly right. The premiums have gone up like rocket ships. And I'm not just talking about recently. I'm talking about for years they've been going up. And he said premiums will go down. Everything will be wonderful. It's horrible health insurance at a very high price. And what I want, and probably what you're alluding to, is the fact that I want, instead of going to the insurance companies, I want the money to go into an account for people where the people buy their own health insurance. It's so good. The insurance will be better. It'll cost less. Everybody's going to be happy. They're going to feel like entrepreneurs. They're actually able to go out and negotiate their own health insurance. And they can use it only for that reason. That's the beauty, only for that purpose. And if we did that, that would be so exciting. Call it Trump care, call it whatever you want to call it, but anything but Obamacare. Obamacare is a disaster, just like he was as a president.
Yep, and they're out there talking on different podcasts out there, and this one was posted for many to see. I believe this guy's called Courageous Media, and you've got others that joined him, and they're talking about Obamacare.
Obamacare was a lie from the beginning. They knew it was a lie. They actively told lies in order to take over a third of the U.S. economy. Yes. And it has gone downhill ever since. What you don't know about Obamacare is that it has utterly destroyed the free market system.
Yes.
You've got the people who wrote the ACA. It wasn't written by Democrats. Nope. It was written by big pharmaceutical companies, big insurance companies, big hospital providers.
Yep.
The unholy trinity got together and said, how can we create a system whereby trillions of dollars of taxpayer money will flow directly into our pockets?
Yes.
And that's what they did. Yes. Under ACA, it is no longer legal for doctors to go form their own hospital group. They can't do it.
Yeah.
Under ACA, the licensing requirements for doctors have gotten so onerous and it's so expensive that you create literally a shortage of doctors that now drives the price up. And you've basically forced them, because of all your maniacal billing practices, that you have to essentially take insurance.
Yes.
I mean, there's still a few. There's still some doctors you can go to where they'll tell you, if you ever ask, like, hey, this procedure, like you walk into a doctor's office and, they're going to do a test or something. Oh, that's $850 and that'll be covered X% by insurance. What if I pay cash? Oh, I could do it for $150. I mean, it's insane. And so what you have and what people are waking up to, because people have started to blow the whistle, the healthcare, the ACA subsidies, it's an $800 billion annual transfer direct from the federal payment system right into the insurance companies. And what they do is they artificially lower premiums a little bit so that the Democrats can then come back, and if the Republicans don't buy off on this, they can say, look, the Republicans raised your premiums. No, the premiums were always that high.
Always. That's
it's kind of like saying, hey, you know what? Gas is $5 a gallon, but we're going to transfer $1 trillion a year to all of the oil companies to artificially lower gas prices from $5 to $2.50. And then when we end that subsidy, they go back up to $5, and it's their fault.
Yeah.
This is what they're doing. This
That's
is the
what they
Democrats.
did.
This is what they wanted to do. This is why they purposely extended the ACA subsidies only until December 31st of the next presidential cycle, so that if a Republican got elected, they could do this exact thing. They could demand that these ACA subsidies get extended, and if not, then they're going to run around and say that Republicans drove your premiums.
Right.
No, the ACA drove the premiums up. The ACA is the problem. It's why it's under the ACA that we cover illegal aliens. It's under the ACA that you cover adult children up until 26.
Yeah.
And you've got, on the flip side, you've got the ideological left that runs around saying, you know, we're the richest country in the world. You know, people should have free healthcare. But realize that healthcare is not a thing that you can just give away. It is somebody's service. It is somebody's intellectual property. It is
so amazing. Folks are catching on. They're waking up. Sure needed this a long time ago before they passed this thing. So you want to know who the architect of this whole Obamacare thing is? Here's a 2-minute refresher. Jonathan Gruber was the guy. Check this out.
Who exactly is Gruber? What was his role in crafting Obamacare?
I don't know who he is. He didn't help write our bill.
Most people think he's one of the best outside experts, Mr. Gruber of MIT.
I don't know if you have seen Jonathan Gruber of MIT's analysis. And so
Jonathan Gruber is one of the most respected economists in the world.
He attended 5 of the 12 meetings at the Obama White House in 2009, including the meeting with the president.
I was a paid consultant to the Obama administration to help develop the technical details of the bill.
$6 million in consulting fees on Obamacare. Who knew you could make so much money working for the government, huh?
And so
the fact that some advisor,
an advisor
who never worked on our staff.
I've stolen ideas from liberally John Gruber.
Obama's a little more relaxed. I think he took a cigarette break halfway through.
Expressed an opinion that I completely disagree with in terms of the voters.
That passed. The American voters are too stupid to understand it. You know, call it the stupidity of the American voter or whatever. It's a very clever, basic exploitation of the lack of economic understanding of the American voter.
There's no reflection on the actual process that was run.
And the only way we could take it on was first by mislabeling it. And John Kerry said, no, we're going to tax your health insurance. We're going to tax those evil insurance companies.
Gruber, who has been our guide on a lot of this.
But we all know it's really a tax on people who hold those insurance plans.
I think it's fair to say that there was not a provision in the healthcare law that was not extensively debated.
This bill was written in a tortured way to make sure CBO did not score the mandate as taxes. If CBO scored the mandate as taxes, the bill dies.
Mr. Gruber of MIT, he's got big computer models. He takes the CBO data, and frankly, in some respect, he's helped CBO by giving some information to CBO that otherwise it does not have.
You had a law which said healthy people are going to pay in. It made explicit that healthy people pay in and sick people get money. It would not have passed.
And was fully transparent.
Lack of transparency is a huge political advantage. And over time, it's going to apply to more and more health insurance plans.
And so
how can that make sense?
Grubergate, American Commitment put that together. Absolutely amazing. This guy, it's interesting. I watch him walk around on stage and talk, and his mannerisms and everything right here. And I was like, man, this guy's just like Bill Gates, the way he talks, the way he moves his hands and holds his hands and everything, and his mannerisms. It's almost like these demons have the same type of behavior patterns, and they just jump in from one person to another. I don't know. It's just the way I look at it. Oh, yeah. Folks have been catching on. Here's somebody else that caught it.
Obamacare
helped millions get coverage. But it wasn't cheaper. Premiums shot up, deductibles exploded, and here is the part no one talks about. The federal government now spends billions every single month on health insurance subsidies. In 2023 alone, about $218 billion in Affordable Care Act subsidies went straight to private insurance companies. Not hospitals, not doctors, not patients. Meanwhile, hospitals and drug companies keep raising prices because the system rewards them for it. Insurance doesn't stop the price hikes. It hides them behind fine print and paperwork. Trump called it out. He proposed taking that ACA money away from the insurance companies and giving it directly to the people, calling insurers what they are, money-sucking middlemen profiting off your pain. So who is the real scammer here?
Isn't it great to see folks posting, getting information out, telling them the best they can? You even got cartoons like Political AI. But I promised them everything, says Chuck Schumer as he goes to the ATM and there's insufficient funds. He's got NPR attached to him, free healthcare bag, and everybody's waiting for their payouts. It just didn't work out for him, did it? And so, of course, I've got a lot more for you on this and some amazing comms in the future with observing consciousness on the shutdown and how that all played out. First one, you check this out. Folks, I'm feeling so much better now that I've visited Chad and Katie Brewer, and they gave me their Fortify 365 NAD+, a coenzyme found in every cell of your body. I'm telling you, sharper, stronger, and more energized. It fuels my brain function. I can tell. It boosts the energy, supports metabolism, helps my cells repair and regenerate. And I was just overwhelmed when I took this stuff. As we age and we face stress and illness, or addiction, NAD drops those levels, leaving us tired and foggy. Well, glutathione is the body's master antioxidant, so it's combined NAD plus glutathione. It detoxifies the liver and as a result supports the immune system and reduces inflammation and oxidative stress. So together, NAD plus and glutathione are powerful anti-aging combo. You can actually get this in the description box below. Click on the link in the description box, fortify365.com/AUK.
One thing that came out of this entire fight is that the healthcare system in this country has been, Obamacare, has been exposed as a complete and utter failure. We all know it now. Everybody admits it. The other thing that came out is that Democrats are willing to make people suffer. And you heard Democrat after Democrat today say, well, we just couldn't prolong the suffering. So they admit that their political tactics were designed to inflict suffering on the American people. We also learned about cynical politics in this. But the overall issue of health care is going to have to be dealt with because the system has failed. Everyone, I think it's bipartisan now, admits it. But I'm not sure that having Mike Johnson commit to giving billions of dollars to insurance companies for insurance that's not getting any better, it feels like it's getting worse to the American people, is going to make a difference. I could see Democrats and Republicans coming together to discuss that, like if we're going to spend this amount of money, should we be just giving it to insurance companies or should we be doing something else with it that would actually have a chance of making it feel like you could get seen by a doctor and get a better health outcome? But what we're doing now, writing checks to health insurance companies, is not getting us any better outcomes at all.
There, it's getting awful quiet at the Communist News Network. Folks are staring down like, oh boy. They can't butt in. They can't talk over him. Whew. It's making them look pretty bad. And so you think, they're going to be actually talking about this, insurance stuff, health insurance in December. I mean, even though they're going to finally open the government, it's still going to continue. Look what the Republicans have been planning.
Let's take that $150 billion we're giving insurance companies, give about a third of that back to patients, to consumers, to set up their own healthcare savings accounts. Beyond that, there's work to be done with roll back the PBMs when it comes to prescription drug prices. Trump RX is going to be something else that'll work. We can expand access to association healthcare plans, to ministry plans as well. We want to set up high-risk pools, reinsurance pools in every state as well. So there's a lot of things we can do. These are not new concepts. Speaker Johnson and I have been working on this together for years.
So, well, you've been working on it for years, but is there like a comprehensive plan that people could look at and decide whether or not they think it's something that Republicans should pass?
We'll have something within that when we'll have a side-by-side bill when they come out, when they get their vote on Obamacare subsidies, giving
You're
more.
going to have a health care bill by the second week of December?
We will. We've been working on this very, very hard for several years.
Been working on it for years.
And again, Speaker Johnson and I have done one several years ago, but we'll get a new one, getting it together. We're bringing the pieces together just like I discussed. Again, taking $150 billion rather than giving it to big insurance companies. Let's empower patients, make them consumers again.
Make them consumers again.
So what is the answer from Republicans? How can you address affordability when it comes back, apparently in about a month? How will you debate? What will you say to the voters about the rising price of health care?
Well, here's what I'll say, Will. I'll say if we learned anything through this intergalactic freak show shutdown, we learned that Obamacare is not working. We were promised if we did it, premiums would go down and insurance would be more accessible. It's been neither. We were promised our lives would be better. Our lives are worse. We need to fix it. Just extending the status quo is like putting fresh paint on rotten wood. Now, how are we going to fix it? Well, we're going to vote on revising Obamacare exchanges here before Christmas. We need to put together a proposal that looks like somebody designed it on purpose. But longer term, to the larger issue, health care is part of affordability. What the Senate needs to do is get up off its ice-cold, lazy butt and do another reconciliation bill. We don't need support of our Democratic colleagues to do that. We can do it with all Republicans. I think we did an extraordinary job with the one big beautiful bill, but under the law we have the authority to do two more. We haven't done anything since the one big beautiful bill. After the holidays, we need to get serious, and in a new reconciliation bill, we need to address the cost of food, the cost of health care, the cost of housing, the cost of regulation. Regulation of goods and services makes all of our goods and services cost more.
Oh, boy. They're starting to lay out everything they have planned, one at a time. Observing Consciousness is going to be there with us on the cruise. This is bigger than some realize. Let's tease this out some. The government reopened on terms that end the old spending machine. The Democrats agreed to a structure that forces every hidden funding channel into daylight for all to see. No omnibus, bundled foreign aid, no automatic renewals of the networks that operated in the dark. The pressure is now staged across January and February. No, this doesn't end here. It is only starting. Each deadline draws a new layer of the structure into view. This move secured position. The ground shifted toward open visibility. Spending is now traced line by line and vote by vote. The old guard lost their grip. The old order relied on one move, push everything into a single oversized spending package, giving nobody time to even read it. No light, no record, no accountability. Now that structure is finished. This is key. Watch, funding now moves into two phases, January 19th and February 2nd. These dates function as pressure gates. The timing itself reveals the network. January exposes defense and national infrastructure. Global projection lives here. Contractors, intelligence routing, foreign stationing, cyber and space build-out. Once viewed directly, the pattern is clear. February exposes the domestic operating system, border flow coordination, NGO, non-governmental organization, distribution networks, public health command chains, education narrative scaffolding. Follow the funding and the architecture stands in full view for everyone to see. No bundled foreign and aid entered this agreement. No border trades. No quiet Ukraine channels. Every request now stands alone before the public. Every vote carries a name. We see you. Continuity moves through design. Power shifts when the flow of authorization changes. Recognition arrives through sequence, not announcement. The laddered CR, continuing resolution, keeps government functions active while preventing the old channels from rebuilding themselves. Operations continue. Concealment does not. Signals are now forming. The border funding posture is in January. Foreign aid separated into single-issue floor votes. Treasury alignment inside defense appropriations. Audit triggers embedded in February agency texts. Track the pattern. The awareness rises layer by layer. We see the system clearly now. The Republic returns through exposure and integration. January begins the next movement. The shift is in motion now. Stay observant and hold position. We see them, and they know we see them. Bring the mind into sharp focus and make it alert so that it can immediately intuit truth, which is everywhere. The mind must be emancipated from the old habits, prejudices, restrictive thought processes, and even ordinary thought itself. Bruce Lee. So let's check this out.
We're going to issue a dividend to our middle income people and lower income people of about $2,000. And we're going to use the remaining tariffs to lower our debt. We're going to be lowering our debt, which is a national security thing. So we're doing a lot of good work. And the numbers were reported so incorrectly. The real numbers are trillions of dollars have been taken in or gotten in terms of investment from the tariffs. And so if that were ever reversed, it would be a disaster. Frankly, it would be a national security problem for our country. And nobody thinks it's going to be reversed. I think we had a very good court case. As you know, it's before the Supreme Court right now. But if that were ever reversed, people are saying, oh, it's $1 billion. Some people said, oh, it's $2 billion. Well, that obviously we can handle very easily. But this is trillions of dollars we're talking about in terms of the tariff income and all the investment income that's come into our country.
Pretty amazing. News Treason Channel 17. The key word is dividend. We're going to issue a dividend to our middle income people and lower income people of about $2,000. Wow, we're going to use our tariffs to lower the debt. Trillions of dollars have been taken in. Notice he didn't say stimulus. He didn't say stimulus. He said dividend. A dividend is a payment made by a corporation to its shareholders. Shareholders, man, it's a hard word to say. Shareholders, usually in the form of cash or additional shares of stock. It represents a portion of the company's profits or retained earnings that is distributed as a reward to investors for owning the company's stock. Do you recall that Trump has discussed creating a sovereign wealth fund in the United States? If payments like Trump's $2,000 tariff dividend became permanent, it could be the seed of a U.S. sovereign wealth fund. Tariffs feed a national investment pool. Profits from that pool fund annual citizen dividends. Basically, tariffs fund investments, dividends, citizens. A self-sustaining America fund. The Golden Age. Let's see what happens. Pretty cool. There's actually a woman out there telling you how it is. Check this out.
Well, Trump just announced today that he was giving every U.S. citizen who is not a high-income earner a $2,000 dividend check. He said, quote, a dividend of at least $2,000 a person, not including high-income people, will be paid to everyone. Where's the money coming from, you ask? It's coming from the tariff revenue. Isn't tariff revenue just us getting our own money back, you ask? Yes. However, $1,300 is the projected extra spending per U.S. household in 2025 versus 2024 due to the tariffs. An average household includes 2.5 people, which is $520 extra per person per year. Since the checks we're each getting is $2,000, that means you're being paid back what you paid into the tariffs plus another $1,480. And just to be clear, this is every person in the household, including kids. So if you're a family of 4, you'll be getting $8,000. So for all the Trump supporters out there, enjoy. And for all the Trump haters out there, maybe you should donate yours to a charity, because surely you can't take money from an evil, hateful felon.
Truly, you couldn't take money from the felon that you guys hate so much. Oh, that's so good. So good. You know, the Supreme Court, President Trump said, was given the wrong numbers. The unwind in the event of a negative decision on tariffs would be including investments made, to be made, and return of funds in excess of $3 trillion. It would not be possible to ever make up for that kind of a drubbing. That would truly become an insurmountable national security event and devastating to the future of our country, possibly non-sustainable. He released this at 37 Eastern Standard Time, right? You go to 37, they are the true patriots we will never forget. Let these coming days be remembered in our history as the time we fought to recapture the republic from those evil bad actors who for so long have sacrificed the good people of this land for their own personal gain. Fight the good fight. Let justice be served. Wow. That's good. That's really, really good.
This Crockett, this is a very low IQ person. And I look at somebody that comes from Somalia where they don't have anything. They don't have police. They don't have military. They don't have anything. All they have is crime. And she comes in and tells us how to run our country. The Constitution says this, the Constitution. The whole thing is crazy. I feel.
Oh, Crockett came up again. And you guys know what happened yesterday? A leftist radio host, Stephanie Miller, got down on her knees and kissed the feet of Democrat Representative Jasmine Crockett. James Wood said, but she thinks conservatives are a cult. Yet there she is on her knees, worshiping Crockett. You know what's really interesting? Is Crockett actually had something to say, making many wonder, whose side is she on?
You know that one of his friends has purchased Dominion. So it's going to be really important for us to educate all states that we can to make sure that their Secretary of States are like, we don't want the Dominion machines. Because I personally believe that ally purchased Dominion so that he could potentially play with the machines, because we know that they're trying to cheat by changing the lines for the midterms. And I think that they're trying to solidify their cheat potentially with the voting machines.
Isn't that amazing? She's calling to remove the Dominion machines. Some out there think, you know what? Could she have been a plant, an actor, to play things out and then get all these Democrats to fall in love with her? And then all of a sudden she comes out and starts saying, we need to get rid of these Dominion machines. Wow. The machines they used to do what? Cheat in the elections. And now she's saying, well, the Republicans own them now. So, they're going to use them to cheat. Is that right? Kind of interesting how that works, huh? The U.S. Supreme Court to hear a case determining if states can count mail-in ballots that are received after Election Day. 18 states currently allow late ballots to be counted. They are going after these elections, folks, and they're going to hit it in different angles. That is for sure. Now, listen to this interview with Assistant Attorney General Harmeet Dhillon.
For Tuesday's elections, the Justice Department sent election monitors to New Jersey and California. Is there any reporting from these teams of potential civil rights violations?
We are compiling our reports. I will say I got several reports on the day of on the ground. And there were some concerning aspects, I would say, particularly in New Jersey, but also in a state where we didn't send monitors because they weren't requested, in Pennsylvania. In Pennsylvania, Chester County had 75,000 voters who were independent. They simply weren't included on the poll book. And that means that, some of them were turned away from the polls. I quickly put out a post on X informing the public that if you are subject to some irregularity at the polls, and because I'm a longtime election lawyer, I knew this without having to look it up, you can ask to vote provisionally. But a lot of people didn't know that.
People don't have that kind of information.
No, they didn't. And it's a real failure to imagine disenfranchising virtually 75,000 people in an election. And there were, 3 Supreme Court judge races on the election, very important races. That's the margin. I mean, 1 vote is the margin in an election. So that's a massive fail. So I think people can expect that there will be follow-up action from the DOJ on the failure to administer elections properly in multiple jurisdictions.
Amazing. They're on it. They're looking at the elections, how they cheat. So many different angles, right? We thought, maybe they just manipulate the votes or throw the ballots away, or maybe they just go into the machines and change the numbers here and there. Oh, maybe they just bring in the illegals to go in and vote as much as possible. Oh, wait, they use mail-in ballots to ensure that they can put in as many as they want, 100 per person. Oh, wait, then they have another thing. Oh, if you walk up and you're about to vote, oh, no, sorry, you're not included, so you can't vote today. They turn out and walk away. You see, folks, just how much they're rigging these elections everywhere? Can you imagine? Can you imagine if we had all the polls and the folks walk up and the military is running it, and they're standing there and they're making sure all things are done properly according to order. Everybody has to have an ID card, prove that they're an American citizen. They fill out a paper ballot. It goes into a secured vault. Next thing you know, they take it out. All the military lines up. They look at each boom, 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 look at it. You have folks making sure everything's running smooth. At the end of the day, they count everything and they get it out. Can you imagine what would happen across the United States of America? Whew. President Trump put this out. All air traffic controllers must get back to work now. Anyone who doesn't will be substantially docked. For those air traffic controllers who were great patriots and didn't take any time off for the Democrat shutdown hoax, I will be recommending a bonus of $10,000 per person for distinguished service to our country. For those that did nothing but complain and took time off, even though everyone knew they would be paid in full shortly into the future, I am not happy with you. You didn't step up to help the USA against the fake Democrat attack that was only meant to hurt our country. You will have a negative mark, at least in my mind, against your record. If you want to leave service in the near future, please do not hesitate to do so with no payments or severance of any kind. You will be quickly replaced by true patriots who will do a better job on the brand new state-of-the-art equipment. The best in the world that we are in the process of ordering. The last administration wasted billions of dollars trying to fix antiquated junk. They had no idea what they were doing. Again, to our great American patriots, God bless you. I want to be able to send you money fast enough. Send your money fast enough. To all others, report to work immediately. God bless America. President Trump.
Can you guarantee to Americans that travel is going to go back to normal once the government...
That travel is? Oh, yeah. It'll go better than normal. You know why?
When the government reopens.
Yeah, sure. It'll be much better than normal because we're buying the most sophisticated avionics and, technology for our control towers. And we didn't have that. We had a guy named Buttigieg. Edge, they say is the best way. Just say 2 edges, like off the edge of a cliff, which is where they were taking us, by the way. Edge was the Secretary of Transportation, and he spent billions of dollars trying to patch together our air traffic control system, which was a conglomeration of all different systems in all different cities. They had hundreds of companies working on it, and they were spending billions of dollars. And when they turned it on, it didn't work. It didn't even work a little bit. That's why you had a helicopter crashing into an airplane, that if we had a great system, bells and whistles would have started going off. So we are now in the process. We're in final bids of getting the finest system anywhere in the world. I've analyzed it. Sean Duffy has been working really hard on it, doing a fantastic job, by the way. And over the next 2 or 3 weeks, we'll be handing out the finest air traffic control system anywhere in the world. All the towers will be equipped. They were going copper wire into glass wire into other types of wire. And if you knew anything, copper wire doesn't work with glass. Glass doesn't work with other substances. And they spent billions of dollars, and when they turned it on, nothing happened. Okay? We're getting the most sophisticated, all brand new. Every control tower will have the same exact system. It'll be the most sophisticated system by far in the world. And what we've done is we've looked around other countries and we've taken the absolute best systems in every different form, because there are different. You have lots of different companies like IBM and Raytheon and a lot of great companies. They're all bidding, and we're going to pick the best one, and it'll get built relatively quickly, and we are going to have the greatest air traffic control system anywhere in the world.
It's about time. You know, we're paying to be invaded so corporations can have cheap slave labor. Look at this. New non-citizen Social Security numbers issued. Fiscal year 21, 270,000 plus. Then it went to 590,000 a year later. Then it went to 964,000 a year after that. Then it went to 2,095,000 in fiscal year 2024. President Trump said he's working to circumvent insurance companies, which are attempting to massively increase premiums and give healthcare money to people instead. Talked about that. Democrats will now be forced to defend insurance companies. Checkmate. He wants a good system. And who will ever forget what we've learned, guys? Just this year, I'm thinking of it now. USAID, remember USAID, all the money that they were stealing from us, giving it to all these others. Then we found out about SNAP, and then the government spending all types of money to people, giving it to people that don't really shouldn't have it. President Trump addressed that in his interview.
If Kamala got in, you wouldn't have, not only wouldn't you have $20 trillion coming in, you would have money leaving, and your welfare system. Take a look at some of the welfare things that we're talking about. They've doubled, tripled, and quadrupled since I left office.
SNAP benefits have
well, SNAP has gone from
high.
like $7 billion to many times $7 billion. And, you know, people keep talking about SNAP, but SNAP is supposed to be, if you're down and out, you really, really have, that's what the purpose of it. People are getting, they walk in and they get it automatically now. So the number is many times what it should be. It's disgraceful.
Can we change
You wouldn't
that?
have been able, I'll tell you what, this country would have been busted, 100% busted within 5 months into a new administration if I didn't win.
Can we reform SNAP
Yeah,
and
I
these
think we
benefits
can
so they're
reform it.
used
I
for the
think I
people who
should.
really need them?
It's meant for people. And you know what it does is it really puts the country at jeopardy. People that need it have to get it. I'm all for it. But people that are able-bodied can do a job. They leave their job because they figure they can pick this up. It's easier. That's not the purpose of it.
How about that? All types of money going back into our pockets, folks. You can feel it, you can see it, and they've got a plan, and they've been working on it for a long time. You know, we have an opportunity to take that and do some great things with it, especially with the precious metals interviews we do every week. You can watch it rise every single week and get out of fiat, head over on to gold and silver. We have this amazing interview we dropped Saturday from Dr. Kirk Elliott. If you haven't checked it out, I encourage you to go watch. And he brought up some great points about the precious metal rebound that's going to be playing out before our very eyes.
To push it to the bottom.
Yeah.
You can't. Right? You can't hold it down. It's going to push you up. Right? Even me, a 230-pound guy, a basketball, I would try, and I'd kick, and I'd try to get it to the bottom of the pool, and you know what? It's just going to want to push me up, and I'm 230 pounds. Right? This is, or even like the buoys in an ocean, right? When you're on the beach and you got these buoys out there, and they're big buoys, and they have the rope around them and say, hey, don't go past here. There's you know, riptides, or there's sharks, or whatever, right? So those buoys, if you go into the chain and tried to pull it down, you wouldn't be able to. Wouldn't be able to. Why? Because it has something in there. It has that oxygen in there. It's got air in there, and you can't pull it down. So these markets have so much oxygen in them to propel gold and silver upward because of the demand, the low supply, all of these external forces and factors that we're talking about, a potential banking crisis, the tariffs, for example. It's like this silver shortage would be over if London had inventory. Nobody wants London to have inventory.
So he gets into it, shares a lot of great info, folks, and it's amweknow.com/gold. You know that in the description box below. Hit on that, and you will be changed forever. ever. It'll be absolutely amazing. Speaking of changes, I don't think that it's going to be very good for liberals, especially the woke white female liberal mind. Look at this. If you're looking at your screen or if you're listening, you're looking at what appear to be zombies. They're acting like fools in the streets, and it's going to take decades to study the liberal minds of these females. They have lost it altogether, and I think when we had our zombie movies, maybe this is what they portrayed or saw coming. Oh, man. The state of Oregon started mail-in ballots in elections 44 years ago, folks. The last Republican mayor of Portland, Oregon was 45 years ago. Does that make sense now? Yeah. Governor Tina Kotek has officially signed into law the largest tax increase in the history of Oregon, $4.3 billion to clean up her party's transportation failures. Should enrage the Oregonian, regardless of political party. This is the most important part. Republicans have submitted a referendum to have this put on the ballot for the people to decide. They'll have 30 days to collect 100,000 signatures. Hopefully, they will get it done. Now, something we've been talking about a lot lately is Sharia law moving into the United States of America. Been trying to keep you updated on some of the things that we've noticed, interviews and more. Check out what this former, well, I don't know if it's former. Let's just listen.
When my mom threatened to kill me, it wasn't because I'd left Islam. It was because I took off my hijab. I was still identifying as a Muslim in those days. I just didn't want to wear this anymore. It'd been put on me at 9 years old. I hated it since it was put on me. And I'm an adult now and I want to take it off. And for that reason, I'm not her daughter anymore. Shouldn't go to her funeral. I'm just a whore. She was going to have me killed because she needed to make sure that I was killed before I moved on to the next step, which she saw was going to be leaving Islam. And at that time in my life, I was like, what do you mean? Of course I'm not going to leave Islam. But she's like, I need to make sure you're killed before you leave Islam because then I'm going to have an infidel daughter and I'm the one who's going to be punished in eternity for that. So I need to make sure that you're killed before that happens.
Can you explain the difference between the hijab and the niqab, as well as their role in Islam, as well as your personal experience with them?
So hijab just means covering. Nowhere anywhere in the Quran or a hadith does it explain what a hijab needs to look like. The mainstream understanding of hijab is that it needs to cover everything except for your face and hands. Some scholars said that. This isn't doctrine. This isn't hadith. This isn't Quran. But this is the mainstream understanding. And then there are other scholars who say, no, even face and hands need to be covered. So I, for example, had to wear black gloves and cover my face completely. I couldn't even have the slit. I just had a thinner piece of cloth over my eye. So complete, like, Dementor, basically. That's what I look like. So it really just depends on how religious you want to be about it. But make no mistake, whether it's hijab or niqab, both of them are misogynist. Both of them are, to a degree, obviously there's a very big difference between wearing hijab and wearing niqab, but both of them stem from that same place of victim blaming. You need to cover yourself lest these men around you get aroused and end up raping you, and it's because you were showing skin. And so you'll see even little girls being put in hijab, like toddlers. They got a diaper and a hijab on. So I guess the men are telling on themselves, saying, oh, we need this little girl to cover herself up. That's where it stems from. So the misogyny of it, the victim blaming, the supporting of rape culture, essentially, with around the hijab is evil. It's absolutely evil.
And so we saw that play out. And then you'll notice, if you guys didn't know this, they actually allow child marriage in right here. A 9-year-old girl cries as she's sold by her own family and forced into marriage with a 60-year-old man. That's part of the Sharia, is what they're stating. It plays out throughout the world, and it's pretty sickening. We don't want to see that in the United States for sure. So a lot of comms been playing out for all of us to see. and it's been pretty amazing as President Trump put out his message, happy birthday, 250th birthday to our incredible USMC from its founding at Tun Tavern, right? We read that earlier. Well, there's 250 characters in that, 45 words, and it matches many things on the drops that get us pretty excited from Grasshopper 17. Anons get the message. Trump dropping his EM dash at 48. Q clearance. And so that dash is right here. It's a large dash, just like you have the 45 dash 47, right? The long dash. It's right here. That's what he put in that message to the Marines, right? And White House is quoting Trump making the land at 45 as the 250th character, pointing to Anons understand now, today they are learning the truth. You have been prepared for what is about to take place. Dark to light, enjoy the show. Where we go one, we go all. And of course, today, the Delta for November 11th, 2018. So November 11th, today in 2025, we look back on that. Let the unsealing begin. Let the D-class begin. Let the world witness the truth. We, the people, justice under the law. Justice under the law. So amazing. On this Veterans Day, all those who serve, thank you for your service, and especially watching the 40 days, the biblical move, 40 days, right, for this shutdown relating to biblical movements. And I tell you what's even more biblical as you watch across our country on many podcasts, waking up and sharing information about Obamacare and what it really has done to destroy this country. It's another check on the box, folks, showing us again, opening up what the old guard structure has set up to line their pockets and to steal from us and to put us into daily slavery. So many people working for so many years, 2 jobs. Is that you? 70 hours a week in one job, 80 hours a week, doing all they can to put food on the table, pay the bills, pay the rent. The rents have been going through the roof. Try to get a decent car to drive, paying for gas. Now the insurance. USAID stealing our money, sending it to other countries. Using it, bringing it back. All that money they've been stealing from us and taxing us to death, destroying our lives. It's all starting to make sense. We've had enough. We've certainly had enough. And we're watching, thankfully, the reverse happen. We're watching the Democrats fold. Finally. They're finally going in reverse. And they're not getting what they want. And there are many out there that on the left that are complaining about it. They're upset about it. They've been sharing their frustration. How could our party cave to President Trump, right? That's what they say. They don't get it. We have a lot of work to do to continue to wake up the people. A long way to go. But I think we're getting closer. A lot of you have been working hard, talking to your neighbors, and letting them know exactly how all of this has been playing out. It's been wonderful to wake up each day knowing, we got another good thing going today. We have to stay in prayer. And remember, justice under the law.
For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we come to you again, thanking you for your continued guidance and direction in our life. Thank you for all of the leaders that you've put into place that are coming before your throne, asking for support each day in the decisions that they make. Thank you for the guidance of the Holy Spirit in our own lives, keeping us from danger, helping us to meet the right folks. Day after day, you've continued to show your grace and mercy to us, and we certainly need that moving forward. We ask that you continue to guide and direct those behind the scenes who are destroying this old guard, We hope that those that are learning that would pass this on to many generations to come, to not be pulled anymore towards this terrible system that was placed over us. We lift up all of those that are hurting right now, especially heading into the season where many seem to celebrate the holidays and Thanksgiving and others. And we just ask that you would continue to shock us, help us, and may we grow through all this stronger each day in our character and the way that we handle our friends, our neighbors, and others. We certainly need your help in that area. We do continue to ask for continued protection over those, especially that are on the front lines, behind the scenes, doing all they can to destroy this enemy. And we thank you again for your Son, Jesus Christ, who died on the cross, rose again after 3 days. He's alive and well now. And we're watching lives change right before our very eyes through this movement. We bring this before your throne in the name of Jesus Christ, your Son. Amen. Folks, thank you for supporting us. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for your love, the emails, for sending us pictures of wearing the gear, and so much more. It's been so wonderful. And just want to let you know a great report. I had somebody call me, and until I get permission from him to let folks know, we had many working together behind the scenes in prayer and answer to prayer. That individual prayed to receive Christ as his Lord and Savior today, and I've just been overwhelmed. Actually, yesterday, and it's been a long time, but to watch somebody glowing and just say, yes, I'm ready, and to have them pray was just absolutely overwhelming. We actually had that on the cruise also. We had an opportunity on the last day, got on the stage, and just the Lord gave me some words to say, poured a heart out, and many folks lifted up their hand and said they wanted to confess with their mouth that Jesus Christ died on the cross, rose again after 3 days. They were saved. It was wonderful. So as we continue with this movement and the information flow, the most important thing, I believe, is the salvation of folks. May you know, the second that you take your last breath, where are you going? May you know for certain what that is. And if you don't, you can head below this video at the very bottom of our links and descriptions. It's got a road to eternal life. You can click on that. It's pretty cool. Well, thank you. We'll talk to you again soon. For now, this is LT Semper Fi, with Them We Know, signing out.
He thought he could break the Republicans, and the Republicans broke him. But he did think that we have good policy, they have bad policy. And there's something, I don't know if it's Trump derangement or they're just crazed. They're like crazed lunatics. But, we have just great policy.